Hey guys, it's Xiao. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. Today's video is going to be my very first review and demo of a makeup product, and I've been dying to try this foundation stick for the longest time, and it is the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick. I have 5 shades that I'll be swatching individually on my cheek and also side by side so that you guys can get a better view of the color and the undertones. I do also have dry skin, so I also wanted to test out if this foundation stick would work well for people with dry skin. So if you guys would like to see my review and demo, then definitely just keep on watching. So like I stated, I will be reviewing the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick. They have 18 shades currently online. It's not available at Ulta just yet, and they haven't released the date of when it will be available at Ulta, but you can order them on their US website. But I just kind of wanted to quickly read off their claim on their website. So it says that the Fast Base Foundation quickly perfects, contours, and highlights your complexion. The easy to apply stick formula melts into skin, blending seamlessly to leave a fresh and dewy finish. Twist up, swipe on, and blend out with fingers, a beauty sponge, or your favorite foundation brush. So they're saying you can use your fingers, a sponge, or a brush. And for this video, I'll be using a brush on half my face and then a damp beauty blender on the other half, which is my preferred way when applying foundation, just again because I do have dry skin. So we'll be testing out if I like the brush more or if I like the sponge more. So each foundation stick is only $9, and you get 0.21 ounce or 6.2 grams. So this is how much product you get in each stick. It's a decent size and it's only $9. I feel like even with foundation sticks, you're obviously not going to get as much as you would with a liquid foundation. And come on guys, look at this packaging. It's like a light pink packaging with some rose gold kind of like floral detailing with the Makeup Revolution logo here, and then just this little ring in the middle. It's just very clean and sleek looking, which I really enjoy, and it's like a really nice skinny size too. It's not super chunky like the Makeup Forever one. So like I stated, I do have 5 shades. I really wanted to make sure I got my shade because I'm the worst with trying to match my shade. I think I always think I'm darker than I think I am. So the 5 shades that I have from lightest to darkest is F2, F4, F6, F7, and F12. Like I stated, I will be swatching them individually on my cheek and also side by side because I've been watching a lot of YouTubers do that, and I feel like that's such a helpful way to see the color way better than just having it on your arm or something like that. So that's what I'll be doing. Alright, so these are the swatches of the colors that I have, and I just kind of want to talk about each one. The first one here is F2, and online that is described as for fair skin tones with yellow undertone. The second one here is F4, and this one is described as for light skin tones with neutral undertone. This one I definitely feel like is pretty pinky toned, if you guys can see, compared to the F2, and this is F6. F6 is very yellow toned, and F4 is, I feel like, very pinky undertone, but they describe it as neutral undertone. And the third color here is F6, and this is definitely my shade. This is described as for light to medium skin tones with yellow undertone, and I do feel like it's the perfect yellow undertone. It's not too neutral and not too pink. It's definitely more on the yellow side. So if you're around my shade, more light, medium, and yellow undertone, F6 is definitely the one for you. The fourth one here is F7, and this one is described as for medium skin tones with peachy undertones, and it is definitely peachy. I'm not quite sure why I purchased. I think I purchased this one because I was afraid that F6 was going to be a little bit too light, because I do have the Makeup Revolution concealer in C6, and that one I feel like is pretty light for me. So we're gonna have to swatch F6 and C6 next to each other to see if the color matches, but this one is F7 and it definitely is peach undertone if you guys have that type of undertone. Last but not least, we have F12, and this one is obviously way too dark. I bought this one for contouring. This one is described as for medium to dark skin tones with neutral undertone. So like I stated, I did want to do a quick swatch of the foundation to see if it matches their concealer. So this is F6, which is my foundation color. Again, this is good for light to medium skin tones with yellow undertone. And then I do have their concealer in C6, which is supposed to match. But I feel like C6, it's really light on me compared to F6. And it looks about the same, but the concealer does look a little bit lighter. So I feel like it is a little bit off, but it's not anything super dramatic. So let's maybe blend it out and see if that kind of helps. Alright, so that's kind of blended out. That is F6 and that is C6. And F6 is definitely darker, you guys can see that. This one seems a lot more warm toned, and C6 seems more kind of like pinky, kind of neutral, but I feel like it definitely does not match. So not quite sure what's going on there. I thought they were supposed to match, or I could be wrong, but that is just what they look like side by side blended out. Alright, so before we get into the demo, I want to zoom you guys in closer so you can see what my skin texture looks like. Like I stated, I do have fairly dry skin. However, this morning I did go ahead and apply my moisturizer already, and the one that I'm using is a Clinique Dramatically Different moisturizing lotion. And for the primer, I just picked up the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I've been dying to try this, so we're gonna try this underneath the foundation just because my skin is so dry. I really need a good primer and moisturizer before I put on foundation, and this is the same step that I would do with any other foundation, so I just thought it would be fair to stick to the same routine. But this is what my skin looks like up close. I do, you know, have like some mole spots, some acne scars. I do have freckles. I never realized how many freckles I have. See, I have a lot of redness around my nose and some blackheads, and yeah, just a lot going on. So just wanted to show you guys an up close view. So that's what my skin looks like up close. As you guys can see with the moisturizer, it really helps with my dryness. I do have a little bit of dryness around my nose. Let's go ahead and get into this demo. Alright, so for the demo, I usually just use a damp beauty blender, but for this review, I'm gonna do half my face with a brush. I just have this knockoff domed foundation buffing brush that I'm gonna use on my left side, and I'm gonna use a damp Real Technique sponge on my right side. So like I stated, my skin has already been moisturized and primed, so let's go ahead and get right into the foundations. I'm going to be using F6 first as my base foundation, and then we'll go in with F2 if I feel like I want to do a little bit of highlighting, and then we'll go in with F12 for contouring. So I'm not really quite sure how much to use, but the first time I used it, I only did a couple swipes, so I did, let's do about 3. I like to leave a little bit of space in between so it can kind of blend. So on this side, I'm going to use my brush, and I usually just like to swipe it and then I'll go ahead and buff it in. So far, it's really creamy. Like, you literally have to put no pressure on, and it's blending out really well. So I'm just gonna start to buff it in. So far, those 3 swipes did a really good job. So I'm gonna add a little bit on my forehead. I don't like to do too much foundation on my forehead because I feel like I don't, really need coverage there. I just need it to balance out, make sure the colors match. I'm gonna put a little bit on my chin. I do need some coverage on my chin, and then some around my nose. I like to kind of add foundation as I go. I don't really like to put it all over my face and then just blend it. But you could definitely do that with this foundation. It's so blendable that you don't really have to worry about it setting. And I usually try to avoid my under eyes because I don't like putting foundation there because it might get too cakey because my under eyes is pretty dry. So that's why I'm kind of avoiding that area. I just brought my mirror in closer because I couldn't see that well, but it looks really good, like especially right here. It looks so smooth. Let's go ahead and do the beauty blender side. So I'm just going to do about the same 3 swipes, and then we'll start blending. I feel like with the Beauty Blender, I do have to press a little bit harder to get the foundation to blend. I think it just works a little bit better with the brush, but we'll keep using the Beauty Blender. So now that I'm looking close at my skin, I can definitely tell that I like how the foundation brush applied a lot better. I just feel like it was a lot faster. I do feel like the Beauty Blender side looks a tad bit drying. Yeah, I think I definitely like the brush side better. It just was a lot quicker, and I didn't have to like press super hard like how I did with the Beauty Blender. I just say that I need to exfoliate a lot better on my chin because I do have like the little like flakes. You can kind of see it. And then my nose, there is a couple like dry patches. It is kind of clinging just a little bit. Coverage, I'd say it's a really nice medium coverage. I don't really care for too much full coverage. I feel like this coverage is really nice already because it feels really lightweight. Let's go ahead and go in with the highlight color, which is F2, and then contour with F12. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the highlighter color F2 and contour F12, but I really like the look of it. It has such a natural dewy finish to it, and I just finished buffing out the contour and highlighting color, so it is still a little bit tacky. I feel like at this point right now it can be pretty transferable, so if you do like to set your foundation, this would be the perfect time to do so. I usually never set my foundation, but I think with this foundation I might set it a little bit, but we'll go ahead and zoom you guys in so you guys can see what it looks like up close. So this is what it looks like up close. As you guys can see, the cheek part looks really nice. Like there's no dry patches anywhere. The only part I'm worried about is around the nose. Like you guys can see, I have a lot of dry patches, and there's one spot right here that the foundation just didn't really take, but I feel like I didn't, you know, put too much foundation on my nose just because I'm worried about all the dry patches. This side looks really good too. This side was the side we used the Beauty Blender, but I think it looks actually really nice. I think I still prefer this side though with the brush. It looks really nice. And this is what the eyebrow looks like. I told you I was kind of worried about some dry patches around here. It's looking not too bad. But overall, you guys, I really like this foundation. It, like it says online, it literally melts onto your skin. You don't even have to push that hard. You just like put it right against your skin, and the warmth of your skin will melt it, and it blends really easily too. Like I stated in my demo, I think I prefer it with the brush, which is really odd because I usually always only like a damp Beauty Blender, but I feel like with the brush it just kind of blended a lot easier and you didn't have to put so much effort into it. I feel like with the Beauty Blender it did make it a little bit dry, so you kind of had to drag it to really blend it. As you saw, like I really had to bounce my face to get it to blend, but with the brush it wasn't streaky or anything for me personally, so I think I will be using a brush with this foundation. And I do also really like the finish. Again, I do have dry skin, so that dewy looks works really well for me, and if I don't want it to be too dewy, I can just set it with a translucent part. Overall, I really recommend this foundation. Again, it's only $9. They have 18 shades, and they may or may not be expanding their colors. Yeah, I really recommend it. I will leave the link to Makeup Revolution down below if you guys want to purchase it or try it out. Again, you can only get it online. They're not in Ulta yet. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was my very first makeup type of video, so I give makeup gurus a lot of props. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I hope you guys enjoyed it, found it somewhat helpful. If you guys have dry skin, I highly recommend trying it out. Again, thanks so much for watching. If you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!